Greetings, everyone, and welcome back to Blade Bias. Welcome to a filler episode where Ethan talks about nothing, yet something that is on his mind in a barely, possibly, maybe not understandable way. Today, I want to talk about something that no one else talks about. I'm currently recording this on Wednesday the 8th, so it's been a little bit, but over this last weekend, the weekend of 4th of July, I spent the entirety, well, not the entirety, but most of my long weekend working on my car. Basic maintenance, oil changes, changing the front brakes, transmission fluid flush, not flush, change, stuff like that. And in doing that, I ended the weekend with some very, very sore forearms just from unscrewing everything. The oil filter specifically, I kept trying to get off with my hand because you're only supposed to hand tighten an oil filter, and it just wasn't going. And I was imagining every time I went up to wrench on it more with my hands, I was imagining that image of the guy walking away with the pickaxe and the diamonds being right behind the wall that he would have mined through. And it just didn't work. So I kind of like ruined my forearms for a few days. And what I realized, and what I kind of realized for the second time, is something that no one in this hobby talks about, because why the hell would they? Man, having sore forearms makes it difficult to flip. And this is a realization that I kind of already made. On my college campus, we had like a mini climbing gym, and I would go on Fridays with some friends just to climb, get some exercise in, and that would, of course, destroy your forearms, because that's a lot of what you're doing in climbing is gripping and holding on to things and grip strength, and it's really affecting your forearms. And I remember coming home and just being unable to flip for like a day or two. Well, you could still flip, but it was just so much more difficult than it was. Same way that when you're curling whatever weight that you curl, you go to pick something up and it's just like, wow, I don't struggle to pick this up normally, but wow, the training has really done a lot on me. So it's kind of made me realize that, wow, there's actually a lot of muscle coordination that goes into balisong flipping, which is something that you don't really think about, but you also kind of do. I mean, obviously there's a lot of coordination that goes into what we do. We're using all of our fingers, our hands, our elbows, anything. Well, maybe hopefully not your elbows, but it's a dance between a lot of different muscles and muscle groups. And while it's not exactly a workout, because ultimately what we're flipping is less than a quarter of a pound, it's still something that gets affected when we have off days in our hands or our arms. And what that also made me think of is the people who've asked previously on Flip the Script about, like, do balisong flippers ever get RSIs? Like, is that something that happens? So, on today's filler episode, I basically just wanted to ask the question of, how has your experience been, based on your level of fitness or activity or anything, with balisong flipping? Do you regularly do things that mess with your arms in such a way that makes it more difficult to flip? Is this something that has never happened to you and you've never thought of? Is this something that, maybe you do flip and you're like, wow, that actually was more of a workout than I thought? Because I also think about things like the Canyon, with how heavy it is and how much momentum it carries. Even though it's not really heavy, it carries enough momentum that for the first time flipping this thing, it can feel a little fatiguing. Like, I remember multiple points at which I've described a balisong as feeling fatiguing, not so much because it's difficult to flip or it's heavy or anything like that, but it's different than what I'm used to flipping, which is requiring me to use more energy, which the muscles in my hands and arms aren't used to, which just makes it feel a little off. Again, it's never like it's a workout or it's difficult or anything like that, but it's just different. And so I wanted to know you guys' thoughts and opinions on it, because it's not something that anyone talks about, because why the hell would we? Balisong flipping is not like a workout. It's not an exercise. We're not doing anything except probably damaging our tendons in our hands and our arms. I mean, let's be real. if people get RSI from sitting at a keyboard all day, I struggle to think about the agony that someone would feel flipping, who flips like multiple hours a day for years on end. And I guess that's also a question. Has anyone actually dealt with stress-related injuries from flipping so much? Because again, I'm not trying to be like, oh, what we do is so difficult and it's heavy and it's like a workout, because it's not. Neither is typing on a keyboard, but if you do that too much, you can wear out the muscles in your arm and in your hands. Things like carpal tunnel start to pop up. So I'm wondering, genuinely, what the long-term health effects of flipping a balisong are. Like, is there anyone out there who has maybe difficulty? Because I've heard questions that people give me where they're like, yeah, I can't use my ring finger effectively because of pain or whatever. What are some tricks that I can do besides that? And it's a genuinely interesting question that I don't think we have much data on, I guess. So I'm curious, what do you guys think? What's your experience with pain or fatigue or worn out muscles from working out or working all day on the farm or whatever that you've done that kind of messes with your flipping? And to the people who flip a lot more often than I do, are there any negative effects that you have associated with that? So leave those down in the comments. Just curious. I don't know. Maybe this is just another thing I'm thinking about where it doesn't matter at all. And you guys are like, what the hell is this guy talking about? But hopefully it starts some kind of conversation. Anyway, it's 78 degrees in my room. I'm sweating, and I'm going to go film the one more video that I have to do. It's going to be another filler episode, but it should be fun. So see you guys later.